video, I thought that we could talk about goals for 2023. I think there's something very powerful about saying things out loud. So this is kind of going to be almost like a spoken vision board, if you will. So let's grab yourselves a cup of tea. Off topic of the video, but we all have a favorite cup, right? That your drinks just taste better when you have them in that cup. So my Tinkerbell one is for tea, but I can't drink coffee in it. It doesn't taste the same. We all do this, right? So grab yourselves a hot drink. Let's sit down. Let's go through our goals for this year. Let's make some plans. You know, let's start setting things in motion to make 2023 a successful year. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, this is Project Rich Mom and I am Gemma, and I talk about my journey in saving money and creating more streams of revenue to try and build a better financial future for myself and my kids. My hair just is a mess today. What I'm realizing as I get older is I will never be a pristine haired, slick looking woman. I will always be the wild haired daydreamer. So last year I made a video, and like January the 10th or something, where I spoke about my financial goals for the year. If you want to see how I got on with those goals, check out my previous video because we went back over all of that in that video. So for 2023, I'm going to be talking about, I've written them all down because I'm such a scatterbrain and it helps me to focus. So if I keep looking down, that is why. I'm going to be doing business goals first. We'll take a quick look at financial goals, and then at the very end we're going to talk about personal goals. So if you are only interested in the business and the finance stuff, watch that, and then you can scooch off at the end of that and have a great day. So in terms of business, last year for me was really a year where I saw a lot of progress. So my goal has been to set up multiple streams of income. The reality is that as a single parent, or just as a single person, it is very unlikely that any time in the near future, if I went and got a 9-to-5 job, that I would be able to buy a house. So I set a goal and I made a commitment to myself that I was going to set up multiple streams of income so that over the next few years, I can hopefully grow them into more substantial amounts, and then I will be able to buy a house. That is the ultimate goal. So the first goal that I have for the business this year, and business I mean all of the income streams together, is, and this one's kind of scary for me, is to, that is the biggest bird, is to double the income that I made in 2022. And that is actually quite scary. And I've obviously got some kind of mindset stuff around that, because when I say that, that feels like such a massive goal. And I get like that feeling is somewhat like, ugh. So there's obviously some kind of mindset stuff that I need to do around that. But I know myself, if I set a small goal that I know is achievable, I'll hit that goal and then I'll kind of stop for a bit and I'll be like, well, I've done it, I've hit that goal. So setting something that feels really big for me, but still not beyond the realm of possibilities, means that I will push myself harder, and I will focus on something much more to be able to hit that goal. I linked into doubling the revenue. I have another goal of adding in at least one more income stream this year. And I currently have something that I am working on, like the behind the scenes researching phase of. So hopefully I will be putting that into motion very soon. And once I do, of course, I will let you guys know and I will bring you along for the journey. More than one would be really nice, but at least one is my goal for this year. What I don't want to do is have too much on my plate and then get overwhelmed by everything and kind of lose control. Another business goal that I have that I desperately need to do is to be better at planning. I need to get some systems into place. The thing with me is I am either obsessed with planning and I will plan everything out in detail, and when I do that, everything gets done and I feel really motivated and, you know, really productive. And then what happens is when I get to the end of what I've planned, so I could have planned out a whole month's worth of work. If I haven't planned out the next month, everything just kind of comes to a screeching halt. And then I have a really difficult time in getting back on track. Well, I find it really difficult to stay on track. So I do want to put into place some kind of system, automate as much of my business as I can, and just get a better routine in place, just because sometimes it can feel overwhelming when things go off track. And the more productive that I can be, then generally the more income it's going to generate, and then that's going to benefit me and it's going to help me with the other goals. So, you know, but it's hard. I know what to do. My brain is like, you know what to do, but actually physically getting around to doing it is not always that easy. So in terms of my finances for this year, so currently I am in probably one of the best financial positions I have been in for a very long time. And I don't say that to be braggy. I say that because my whole intention in starting this channel was to document how I was changing my financial situation, because I've been in a completely dire situation before. I am not where I want to be financially, but for the first time in a really long time, I can kind of see the line that I'm going on. I can see the path that I'm going down. So a big goal of mine is by the end of the year, I would like to be investing at least 10% of my monthly income. I'm going to automate it so that it goes straight out and I don't even think about it. Now, this is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I have kind of dabbled in investing, putting bits in every now and again, but I haven't felt confident enough in the amount of money I've had coming in compared to the amount that I have to pay out every month that I wouldn't struggle. There's that fear mindset because, you know, I'm a working class girl. I come from generation after generation after generation of poor people. We weren't taught investing. Investing, if anything, was a scary thing. You know, you put your money into stock markets and stuff and it crashes and you lose everything. What I now understand is that yes, there's a risk in investing your money, but historically, every time the market has crashed, it bounces back relatively quickly, to a higher amount than it was prior to the crash. I've been reading a lot of books about people in finances and people that know what they're talking about. Warren Buffett, Tony Robbins has a book about finances and stuff. But like I say, as a working class girl, as someone that comes from a lower economic background, that was never taught to us. We didn't know anything about that. So by the end of this year, 10% of the income going straight into an investment account and start to build that. Obviously, that is not going to be something that's going to produce a massive amount to begin with, but hopefully let it build up and accumulate over a few years, then it will really start to pay off. Now, my other financial goal for this, if I can talk, my other financial goal for this year is to have an account with 3 to 6 months expenses. I didn't start on this journey because I wanted to, you know, live in a mansion and drive a Range Rover and wear designer clothes. If that is your journey and that's what you're seeking, then good for you, but it's not something that I personally strive for. The reason why I'm doing this is to set up as many safety nets as possible. What I want is the safety that comes with financial security, the knowing that my bills can be paid. If something happens that means that I can't work, that I've got time to sort something else out and to get other things in place without it being a financial catastrophe straight away. If something goes wrong with the car, I can get it fixed. Yes, it's an inconvenience and it's not ideal, but knowing that you've got the money there to be able to handle situations like that, that is what I'm striving for. Now, the most exciting thing for me is that if I can achieve these goals by the end of 2023, then it is very likely that in 2024 I will be in a position to seriously start to think about buying a house, which is kind of takes my breath away a little bit, because that is a goal of mine that I've always had, and a few years ago I would have said that that's not possible at all. Now, the type of house that I would potentially be able to afford if we hit these goals is, I'm not talking about some big fancy house. I've spoken in the past about my dream is to have a little farmhouse, and that will always be my ultimate dream. But just to get onto the property ladder and out of the rented situation would be a complete dream come true. And then keep building, keep going up the ladder. You know, that is the ultimate goal. That is the vision that I am holding in my mind, and that is what I'm working towards. So that will be really exciting if this time next year I can make a video saying my goal for this year is to save for my deposit. You know, my goal is to start looking for a house. So in terms of personal goals, I have a few. One of which is to cut down on the amount of TV that I watch. TV really is my source of entertainment, and I really want to start, rather than just having the TV on all the time, which is the habit that I've got into, is leaving it off, you know, putting some music on, or just sitting quietly and reading, just finding other forms of entertainment when I'm in the house. The thing is I'm in the house a lot. I am a very happy introvert. I love to be at home. Very rarely do I venture outside, so I really need to start and, you know, just come away from using TV as the only source of entertainment. And one of the goals I have actually is to read more books this year. So I've set myself a target of 12, which is one book every month. So that's completely doable. Right now I am reading a book. In fact, let me show you. So right now I'm reading this, which is The Birdcage by Eve Chase, which I'm really enjoying actually. And after that I have Wuthering Heights, which is a classic that I've actually never read, so that will be February's book. I think the theme of 2023 will be just self-care. Making sure that I'm being kind to myself, that I'm checking in with my mental health and seeing where I am, rather than ignoring it and then feeling overwhelmed by everything. So no, they're not really huge goals in terms of my personal goals, but it's just about taking better care of me, because if I take better care of me, then I can take better care of everyone around me, so it's a win-win for everyone. Drop me a comment, let me know what your goals are for 2023, whether that's business, finance, personal, whatever. I would love to hear all of it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.